Alright, so today let's talk about why a 24-105mm should be in your camera bag all the time. So let's talk about that. Okay, so what's up everybody and welcome back to another video on this channel, and I hope you all had a fantastic day. And today it's time to talk about one of my favorite lenses, the 24-105. And in this case I'm talking about the Canon RF 24-105 f4, but there are a lot of other versions out there for all kind of other camera brands, so in this video it's not just about the RF version right here, it's more about the 24-105 in general. And especially if you follow me on Instagram, you will notice that I have the 24-105 all the time in my camera bag, and exactly that's why I want to talk about my top 5 reasons why you should have such a lens as well. So yeah, let's get started with the first reason, and the first reason is that the 24-105 is a versatile lens. So what I'm talking about is that in most cases when I don't really know what kind of photos I want to take, or if I don't know the location or anything else like that, I mostly start with the 24-105. And the reason why I always start with the 24-105 in these cases is because of the huge range of photos that I can take with this lens. So for example, I can take these awesome wide shots using 24mm, I can take some great portraits with 35, 50 or 85mm, and I can zoom all the way into 105 if I need to get really close to a key element. So yeah, in the end the 24-105 is actually nearly a all-in-one lens, because you can take a lot of photos using this lens. And of course, especially in situations where you don't know what kind of things you need to do, it is always annoying to switch between lenses all the time, or maybe you don't have the right lens for the situation. But in contrast to that, with the 24-105 here, you can easily use just this lens for a variety of photos and all kind of scenarios. I personally really like to use this lens for street photography as an example, because there's so much going on and I can always get a shot using this lens. Another reason that we need to talk about is the size and weight of a lens, and of course don't get me wrong here, the 24-105 isn't a small lens like the 35mm for example. But in my opinion, if you think about what kind of things this lens offers, it is actually not a big deal. I mean, if you want to have the same range with the 2.8 lenses, you need a 24-70 and a 70-200, and yeah, that's way more. So in the end, if you want to carry these two lenses instead, you need more space, and the weight is completely different here as well. And just mention that here, of course, yes, these 2.8 lenses have some different features and advantages, so don't get me wrong here, but especially if you don't want to carry multiple lenses or if you need to travel light, the 24-105 is the best option. Because yeah, in this case it's just one camera and one lens and that's it. So yeah, in the end this lens is actually a perfect opportunity for everyone who don't want to carry all kind of things in their camera bag, and especially if you just want to travel with one camera and one lens, this is a perfect setup. But now let's move on to the next reason why I really like the 24-105, and here we need to talk about the image quality and the aperture. And yes, I definitely need to say that I love the image quality of the 24-105. I personally tested this lens in a variety of situations like event, nature or street photography, and I always love the final results. But of course what I need to mention is that especially in low light situations you will notice the f4 limitation, but especially if you use newer cameras like the newest Sony's or Canon cameras, you won't have a big problem here. But if you're interested in some sample images, I will link my last street photography session with the 24-105 f4 down in the first comment, so if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. Or what you could do is to head over to Instagram and follow me there. That's a perfect place to see some before and after shots and a lot of examples of a variety of lenses as well. But now let's move on to the next reason, and of course we need to talk about the price. So yes, in this case I'm talking about the RF version, but of course there are all kind of other versions out there for most camera brands. But what I need to mention is that you can get started with such a 24-105 fairly cheap. So for example, you can get the RF 24-105 f4 to 7.1 ISSTM for around $400 to $500. And that's a great price for such a versatile lens. And especially if you use the RF mount, you know that RF lenses aren't that cheap. And on the other hand, you have the option to buy the f4 version that I have right here, which is even better because you don't have the f4 to 7.1 range when you zoom in. So yeah, if you buy your first RF mount camera, I can highly recommend to check out these lenses to get started. But now let's move on to reason number 5 why I think that the 24-105 is such a great lens, and here it's a combination of a couple of things. So what I'm talking about is that the 24-105 is a beginner friendly lens, because as I started to learn more and more about photography, I actually had no idea what kind of photos I want to take or what kind of lenses I need for all kind of photos. But the 24-105 is actually a great way to test all these kind of photography genres. And as I already mentioned in the beginning of this video, this lens is versatile. You want to try some wide-angle landscape photography? Just go for it. Use the 24mm and here we go. Or maybe try some street photography. That's actually not a big problem if you have the 24-105. So just get started here. So in this case it is way easier for you to figure out what you like to do and what you don't like to do. And later on you can easily buy a specific lens because you already know that you maybe need a zoom lens to improve your bird photography. So yeah, especially if you're just getting started with photography, I can highly recommend to check out the 24-105 because yeah, it makes it way easier to get started. But yeah, these are 5 reasons why I think that the 24-105 is a great lens. So thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button to stay updated for our upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next video.